Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
All right.
All right. What is happening in your world, Laurie Kilmartin?
Oh man. First of all, I could tell you're genuinely interested because of the eye roll.
Oh no, I'm just I'm kind of sleepy. I don't know why.
I'm sleepy too. Well, it's a sleepy time of day. It's 3 p.m.
Right, this is traditional nap time. Traditional
Yeah.
comedy nap time.
Let's see. I was at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach last night, and
Okay.
it was a full room, and it was a really fun show. Usually it's I don't know, I'm more booked on their 10 p.m. shows, which aren't as smart maybe.
Or packed, right?
They
They're
can
like
be packed.
they
Yes,
can be packed?
it can be packed. Yes.
Okay.
But just these are just the shows where they're putting up like 4 different comics. Not like a super name headliner and stuff. But it was really fun. And that it was weird to be like, so last night was a 7:50 set, and I drove an hour and a half or whatever, did my set, left, and then I'm like done at 9:30 at night. And then tonight I'm on a 5 o'clock show. I should be done with comedy at 6:30 tonight, which is strange.
Is it Zoom or is it live and in person?
No, I'm doing Flappers.
The Flappers 5.
The Flapped 5 at 5 or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it's more than 5. Hopefully it's 10
hopefully.
at 5.
Yeah. Hopefully. That's that's an early night. Then you're done. I recorded the Dork Forest this week with a guy named Tom Merritt, who his dorkdom was Korean dramas and dramedies and romantic comedy series. And he named like 6 series.
Ooh.
And they were all 16 episodes, an hour each, with like the craziest premises in the world. One of the premises was a show called Goblin, and it was about a guy who was a demon goblin-y person who had been alive for thousands of years, and the only way he could die or move on to the next is if he found his soulmate. And I guess he finds her in the first episode, but she is a child. So he has to wait for her to grow up to kill her.
Wow. That is
a weird ass premise.
I think I think that premise exists in Utah almost every single day.
Not
very Christian,
not the killing part. Not the killing part.
Oh, who do you have to kill? Your soulmate?
The woman will have to kill him. That's the only way that he can move on with his life.
No, now it's a happy ending to me.
And and then there was a couple of reincarnation ones. A broy dude dies, a broy chef, obviously Korean, a broy chef dude dies, wakes up in the body of a woman in medieval Korea who is about to marry the emperor.
Wow.
And so he has to deal with sexism and being a woman and I mean, it just sounds.
Could they all just be reborn as female comics and report
and
to
have
us?
And report to us and figure out. Right, I've been explaining twice for some reason the joke that I texted you about.
Yeah. It's on the Hillary Clinton. It's on my episode of Gutsy with the former Secretary of State, folks, if you want to check it out on Apple. It's just one tiny joke of a huge chunk.
Oh, that's awesome. And
why did you have to explain it? People didn't get it?
No. It came up in the course of some discussion about sexism or trans women, or there was something to it.
Sure.
But it was it was pretty great. I am at Rooster Tea Feathers, Cock-a-doodle-doo, Sunnyvale, California. And they did a refurbish. They didn't really do a remodel.
Mm-hmm.
But brand new carpeting and curtain.
So it's different color scheme now?
Yeah.
It used to be kind of like red and old wood and stuff like that with brass.
Right. It's gray.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of a silvery gray on the curtain. It looks very pretty, actually.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm there in a month, so.
Mm-hmm. I wish that they had gutted it and done sort of, you know how like the sound booth is in the center of the room?
Uh-huh.
If they could have just ripped that out, it would have been, it just would be better for flow. And there's probably room for like 3 more tables. And I found out last
Hey,
night that
Jackie, that's highly affordable after being closed for 3 years. I'm just
right. But if there's a PPP, everybody gets $900,000, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think I
That's
think
what people did. I don't know that she got that, but what I'm saying is that was available.
the
And
PPP was to pay the paychecks of your employees. So if anyone like closed down and let their employees go, then I don't think they'd be eligible for PPPs. I don't think it
right,
was for gut renos. Not that people didn't use it for gut renos or personal yachts or whatever. I mean, there's tons of fraud, but
right. And it wasn't that. I mean, that wasn't. Yeah, I'm not saying that she should have committed fraud, and I'm not saying that 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 I'm just saying that would have been a cool thing for her to do
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it would have allowed uh yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I don't You didn't want to hear about it, so I was like, all right, well then you tell another story. So go ahead.
Okay. I didn't know that I didn't want to hear about it. You had just suggested that a PPP loan would pay for it, but it I just was saying
Right.
it
No, yeah, you were
wouldn't.
just you just shut it down. That's fine. We could talk about something else. It's all great.
Oh, it's gonna be a long hour,
It's
guys.
gonna be a real long hour, you guys. We're in for the duration here.
All right.
It's
Let's see. I Friday. Oh, I did. Your ex roommate had a private gig, for her preschool,
oh, the
which
school
I
one?
did a set. Yeah. It was
How was
pretty
that?
cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
it was there's this performance space that's like in a CVS parking lot in Pasadena. I'd never heard of it before, and it surprised me that it was there, because the whole thing looked all CVS, and then it was off to the corner.
Oh,
But
cool.
yeah, it sat a lot of people, and so it was pretty fun. Yeah,
How
so
much
that was
time did
Friday
you
night.
how much time did you get to do?
I did 47. Let me tell you, the laughs were quick and over. So I probably did an hour and five's worth of material,
Right,
but
right. Where it's
I,
just
I,
shut
I
down, reboot.
2x speed. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
How you listen to an audiobook, I guess. And then
That's
I took Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I didn't have anything. And I just I was, I guess a little tired. I'd done, we did our thing, our live thing on Monday night. That was a lot of fun.
oh,
Um,
cool.
what I learned is we need to promote it a little bit more.
Yes.
Maybe not the week of,
Right.
but we had great comics and everyone had fun sets. I mean, it was a great show to watch, and we had some people there, but we definitely always more would be better.
Right, right. I mean, and some of it, yeah, I just think, yeah, the planning of such an event, I think, needs to be promoted more, or we did, I don't know what we did wrong,
We
or,
didn't. We forgot. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I think it's the holidays and we're both like traveling all over the place. And this is our first live one, so we're not
in a
in the habit.
while. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So I'm letting us off the hook, and the flappers took their lead from us, which was
sure.
no lead at all. So we did what we could, but I mean, we'll get a date again and do a little bit more, maybe get our name on the marquee, get a poster up there, and
Yep,
get some people
yep.
coming
Uh,
to it and thinking it's a tradition they should uphold every time we do
yeah,
a
yeah.
set.
It's yeah, supposedly I've sold more tickets this weekend than anyone since the beginning of the
Yay.
the
That's
shows,
great.
except New Year's Eve, which I think he told me they sold 11 more tickets than me.
Mother
And
Funker, who is their New Year's Eve guest or
I don't
comic?
know, but what I do know is that it wasn't it still didn't sell out. Like first show last night was almost sold out. I think
Okay.
it was
Wow.
just shy, and that their New Year's Eve show was like literally a handful of.
Yeah.
So it's and first show last night was nice because a lot of people were wearing masks. The rest of the
Ah.
show, no one's wearing masks.
Mm.
And one more show tonight, Sunday. What happened on Friday night? I was driving from the hotel to the space. So I'd had a show on Thursday,
Yeah.
and on Friday I drove there, and I turned because it's in a weird intersection and it's next to a tire store, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's this weird thing. So I ended up turning, and there was a cop, and
Were we on the phone?
no, no,
Oh, that was a different time.
what? Oh, the one where the cop was following me,
I don't know. You all of a sudden said cop and the line went dead. And I was
and
like,
that
oh,
was
she's okay.
Friday. That was
Okay.
Friday, right?
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
think so.
I ran a red light and cut off a cop.
Oh,
And he was like, so he followed me, and then I was trying to find the right small to get there. And so I turned, and then he pulled me over.
ooh.
And so it's an 8 o'clock show. It was 7:30 when he pulled me over.
Oh,
So I grabbed my ID, and I rolled down the window, and a very, very young man,
yeah.
11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand him my ID, and I was like, what did I do? He said, well, you ran a red light and I almost hit you. And I said, that sounds about right. I'm a little turned around. I'm lost. And he goes, it was nuts. And I said, yeah, really sorry about that. And so I said, I'm just looking for my insurance card. And I find it and I hand it to him, and he goes, this is expired. Do you have
Oh shit.
do you
Oh,
have a new
no.
one? And
Just the card, right? Not your
just the
actual
card,
insurance.
not the
Okay.
actual. He was like, is it the same? He said, I'll take a picture. And I said, may I call my husband? Because I don't seem to have the current one. And he said, of course, I'll just go check this. And so he walked back to his car to check my ID. I texted Heather at the club and said, I'm pulled over. I'll be there as soon as possible. And then I called Andy and I said, could you please take a picture of the current insurance card and text it to me because I've been pulled over by the cops. And he's on speakerphone in my car. And so the cop is walking back, and Andy goes, what did you do? And I said, oh, it's all my fault. I clearly ran a red light and cut out, and the cop almost hit me. So it's not my finest hour. Anyway, oh, here he comes. I'm gonna hang up. And Andy goes, okay. So I hang up, and I show him the picture, and he's holding my ID. And he said, where are you going? And I said, the comedy club. And he goes, which one? What do you do? I was like, Rooster Teeth Feathers? He's like, it's right around the corner. And I said, that sounds about right. And and he goes, are you the comic? And I said, sure am. And somebody pointed out, blessedly, he didn't say, tell me a joke.
Right.
He did, because I don't have one in the chamber. I got nothing.
Yeah.
And
you have the my trans joke that you
right.
Yes. I'm
right.
sure a cop would love that.
Right. The only thing I could possibly come up with is an Oli and Lena joke. But so I just said, yes, I am. And he goes, and he just stands there for a second, kind of fiddling with my ID, and he goes, drive safer. And he let me go.
Wow.
And I told Darla, and she was like, and who will you be donating to help some sort of, because it was a white lady moment, Jackie. And I was like, it sure was. And
wow.
I have not, if anybody knows who I should donate, it should be some sort of bail, kind of African American or some people of color legal fund.
Yeah.
I'll make a donation, but Jackie at
that's incredible.
JackieCation.com.
And
then I got there, and Heather had not seen my she had not
didn't know.
Didn't know. And Friday night it was good. It was packed. And
was there one show or two?
Just one on Thursday, one on Friday, two on Saturday last night, and one tonight at 7.
Yeah.
And if I was 3 hours away from LA, I would drive home tonight. But it's 5, 6.
Yeah, you might be. Here's the thing. In the old days, you'd be all wired, from a show, and you could easily do a 5-hour drive back because you'd be awake anyway.
Yep. But nope, not at this time.
Right. Would it be 5 hours, or could it be less? Could it be 4.5? And if so, and you're leaving at 9, is that doable?
Yeah, I actually have never enjoyed driving at night, so
Right.
I'm probably just completely full of shit in the fact that I wouldn't have done it if I were 27.
Gotcha.
So
And maybe not the way you're driving right now.
yeah,
Although
right,
maybe
right.
you should be driving at night because fewer people can see you run red lights.
Right. I did see a very fun billboard on the way to the I went and I had lunch with Dominic Del Bene from Blonde Medicine, who you guys, there was an ad last week. Find the code.
Yes,
It's
and we'll do a free plug for Baltazi again. She was one of their records. Beach Trash.
get
Grab
it.
it if you can. Get it. It's really funny. She's great.
oh, all of their and
Did
all
you
the vinyl is super fun.
did you get any like intel on what's happening? Because I that just reminded me of a rage story from a couple
Oh,
days ago. So
uh,
go ahead.
well,
So
allow me to add to it before you tell it, because it was you know how with the Spoken Giants word salad,
collective, yeah.
whatever the whatever the that is, it's I always thought that the publishing rights, sort of like lyrics, it was going to be lyrics and performance, like in music.
Yeah.
That's what the thing is about, right? That's what the lawsuit's about. Um, I thought that with music, it was 30. It was sort of a 33% broken up into three. It turns out that all five of my albums and everything else that they've registered of mine, that's Spoken Giants, will never be played until that is resolved, is over 10%. It's only 10%. It was a 40%,
That's
40%
the only money that
artist,
they're wow.
40% label, and then there was another 10%, and that's what this is all about. It's all
Wow.
about this. And if and when it does happen, it just means that someone could buy the rights to like Mitch Hedberg's 10% and then do a clean version for Laugh USA, which would only benefit the label. That would only benefit, it would not benefit Lynn or, the, or Mitch or the
Oh
actual
my
artist or
God.
their
Right.
heirs. Yeah. And, and comedy covers. I mean, we've made jokes about them for the last 40 years. People
Mhm.
covering, how it's not really it's stealing, but it's also comedy covers. You don't really want it's just a terrible idea, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I remember a lot of young black comics doing Bill Cosby jokes in the late 80s, early 90s. Just sort of
As
um
couched as an impression.
yes, couched it entire yes, good excellent point. Couched as an impression. And it was you were like, no, that he's that guy's still working. Good news,
And still
not really.
raping.
Still that guy's still raping. Uh
Raping and working.
yeah, and not good news is he's going to work again this year.
I'm sure he is.
He's
I'm
going
sure
back
he
out.
is.
Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got lawyers to pay and he has yeah. I
He's
mean,
a comic. He's a rapist, but he's also a comic. And so he needs a stage time.
I don't I I there's I have nothing to add to
To
how
that statement.
disgusting
Yes.
stand-up
Yeah.
comedy is sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yep.
So I'm like a couple days ago, I was like, wait, I wonder, what happened with my sound exchange this month, right? So I look in my bank account and I see no deposits. And then I go on a sound exchange and to download my January statement. And there is no statement because if you don't have any tracks played, they don't make a statement for you.
Right. And
So
you don't have any tracks playing.
no. So I am being 100% blackballed on every single thing I've ever recorded
And
right
that was
now.
in October.
What was in October?
They didn't play any of your stuff in October.
Um,
Because it's 3 months ago. So Sound
okay.
Exchange is 3 months behind.
It is.
So yeah, which means so if they didn't play you in October, they're not going to play you in November
No, right. It's
or
not November.
December.
Allegedly, the switch over to 800-pound Gorilla's different record label that's clean
Mhm.
and not tainted by the Spoken Giants thing starts December 1st. So I don't know if that means
Is
they're
it still
playing.
corset though?
Yeah, I don't know if that means they're still playing. Well, they talked to Sirius, and the name of the album won't affect it. It's the
Oh, it's
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You know,
I
like
I assume that Staycation will never be played until the thing is resolved. So I will be watching this very, very closely. I hope it works.
I'm so fucking pissed about it. It was like one of the things I thought would carry me through this time that I was counting on. Like so
Mhm.
many of the little things I thought, I just need 2 of these little pancakes to flip over and I'll be okay. None of them. And
Yeah.
the biggest one was my record coming out, you know?
Mhm.
Record sales, we all know what that was, and probably will be in April. Let's face it. And then this whole thing where I'm getting no sound exchange money whatsoever. It's
Nope, not a dime.
unbelievable. I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can keep going. Like I'm starting to sell things, you know. I'm
Right.
so fucking pissed.
Don't sell land. Keep the land. But
I
here's the
sold
thing.
coins. I told you I sold my dad's coins.
Right.
I mean, I got things to sell. I guess that's good.
yeah.
But I was also hoping to save those things for when I get some incurable breast cancer that or curable, but I have to spend $100,000 or I have to sell something. You know what I mean? Like I'm still healthy. This is where I'm just trying to build up money so that I can take care of my son later on and also myself. And I don't end up like my mother in a fucking sniff, you know? And I'm spending that stuff now. Fuck.
You probably don't want to hear this, but maybe. What about the don't tell thing? Are they going to cut that up and send it to Sirius?
They have it. I have no idea. I hope so.
What did the contract look like? Any idea? Or was it just a performance?
No, it was performance, and they're going to cut it up, and then I get approval of what they're going to put out. So yeah, whenever they want to, that's fine.
No, because so remember when I recorded that hour at Comedy on State?
Yeah.
So I just recorded it. I didn't want to, but I was like, fine. I need some sort of income. This is a third of my income, all of my albums.
Yes, right.
And it's so I did all the paperwork with all the guys at Sirius, where I found out everything, because they registered everything with Spoken Giants, absolutely every piece I've ever done, including
who's they? Spoken Giants did?
Yeah, Spoken Giants and 800 Pound Gorilla. So I own the masters on 4 of my 5 albums. The one I do not own the masters on is the Staycation. I will in 5 years, less now because it's been out for over a year and a half now. Anyway, so
I know.
Yeah, so I recorded the thing, and Blonde Medicine took it and cut it up into 16 tracks.
Oh, the Madison. Okay, yeah.
The Madison, the live hour, that was a perfectly fine set, but you know how much work I put into the albums.
I know.
You do the same thing. There's a track list, there's an arc, there's a field, there's how tight those jokes are. You've practiced them.
Because you've done it for the last 3 years, and now you're resurrecting them at the last second in a week and for a week in December.
I did really old stuff.
Right.
I just pulled shit out of the air, and it's a perfectly fine set live, super fun. So I didn't know what it would sound like as an album. Well, he turned it into 16 tracks, and I had done all of the legwork with Sirius, where I signed the 2-page disclaimer thing, and I told them that I had done all the things. I gotten all the barcodey kind of thing, whatever. And so when Dominic had split it into 16, he could just submit it to Sirius XM as an exclusive. So here's the good news for me. I don't have Sirius XM. I don't ever have to listen to this fucking thing. And so
man, I want you out there doing promo for this album.
But they could just and according, they've played it. They started playing it 2 days ago.
Oh, cool.
So 3 months from now, I made $1,000 yesterday. So cool. It's real.
So Dominic told you that?
Yeah. So Dominic, I get a flurry of activity like screenshots. Hey, they played 7 tracks just now. Hey, they played.
How's he finding out? How can we find out? Can we
Oh,
find out like what they
yeah.
played today?
Yeah, there's a. He explained it to me, and I will either find that email or I will CC you, and he will because
I would like to know, instead of just finding out by logging on to Sound Exchange every month to find out that I'm still getting fucked over again. I'd like to know. I'd love to
In the
check in and
moment.
go, did they start in December?
All right.
When allegedly I've been freed from the claws of this monstrous situation. Did they?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know offhand, but yes. And but we'll figure that out. And then, so they started playing it, and so I guess it'll be, in an ideal world, it'll be 60 spins a month, which is about $1,000, which is what I was making a couple of years ago, which is still not a lot of money, but some.
Other people make a lot more, and you, with the amount of albums you have, you should be making a lot more.
Right. Now, this guy is doing a class action suit.
Ooh.
Against this guy doing a class action suit against this record company. Because they keep all the money. Mm-hmm. You don't get any of the money. Yeah. They get all the money. You don't even get the artist side, to my knowledge.
Wow. And how's that legal?
Right. I don't know, but people signed it out, and so
of course they do. They want the exposure,
right? And so you should at least be getting the artist side, you guys. And I was talking to another comic who said that, essentially I could have done what I did with my very first 2 albums, album and a half, which is recorded it myself and put it up on CD Baby or TuneCore, and then contacted Sirius XM myself and seen if they wanted to do an exclusive with me, and then I could have had both sides, both label side and artist side. But I'm tired, and I didn't want to do that. So I went with Dominic, and I like Dominic. Dominic's straight shooter. Too. Yeah.
I've also heard that Sirius is only dealing with record companies now, because although I don't know what that means for our friends like who have done their own stuff. Well, Kyle, you're a record company.
I'm still getting feelers out on it. We're small enough that it's hard to tell where we kind of rank in it, because we're clearly not going to cause problems, but also is it worth? We're starting to get some more attention, so I'm starting to put feelers out within it. It's been tough with all this stuff going, just because anything that's not within this stuff, everybody's so dodgy on. Nobody wants to commit to anything. That's been the problem being independent in general, as all this stuff goes, is that's who, to me, is really getting screwed, is everybody who's the doors have just closed now because they don't want to deal with anybody, because we're now a pest.
Right. But do you have a copy of that 2-pager?
I have the old one. I don't have the new one. I have somebody working to get me. If you've got a copy of it now, I'd love to see it, but I've got somebody who says they can get it to me, I think.
Okay. I don't know old from new, but I can show you the one that I signed. Here's what I would like to find: all of the contracts I've signed. I have not, that I'm considered in the industry, within our group of people, good at the business side of it.
You are.
Yeah.
According to my siblings, I am not. They're like, what are you doing? And granted, I did something that I think, someone good at the business would not have done, because with my first Circus People, I did, right? And it's on CD Baby. The next 3 albums are with Stand Up Records with Dan Schlissel. And I read that contract, and I read it closely, and I looked at it, and I figured out words, and I looked up things, and it was great. Then I decided to go with 800 Pound Gorilla. So I hired a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer. So I did a cursory glance at the contract. That is not okay. I have since looked at it more closely, and I was dumb. I
but
can't.
Your lawyer's supposed to protect you. That's why you paid him.
Why? That's what I thought. but I think he was a guy that worked with bigger comics, or he did things that made me think he was just sort of he's like, well, we're going to change this wording on this thing, and I'm like, I don't think that matters, when I should have been looking at sort of like how much time and distribution and stuff like
Yeah.
that, because it's a 5-year and masters thing, when I think I would have asked for a 3-year, but I don't know. But all I know is I should, and I would tell other people this: take the time, get yourself a lice comb, and go through a contract and try to find all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a break, and let's talk about our comic of the week, Isabel Levin. I believe it's Levin.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Maria suggested her. Maria Bamford worked with her, said she was really funny. So I looked at her some clips online, and she's really smart. She's really funny.
Mhm.
Kind of both dry and aggressive. I love that.
That's a
Favorite.
good combo.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't? And so I think her Twitter handle is that Twitter.
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes, that it's yes.
Isabel Levin and the number 1. So ISABELLEVIN number 1. So 2 L's in the middle there. And it's super
Hmm.
funny, super smart and funny. So find her, book her, buy her shit. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I so I am, for a second it was in doubt whether I was doing a special for Comedy Dynamics,
Oh
but
yeah.
I think I am. I am. But I'm yeah.
Yeah, you
For a
definitely need a
second it
lice
was
comb
like
for
I
that
don't have enough
contract.
followers to do a special, and then I was like, I just what is, do you guys just want me to die? Just kill me. What could the industry just stab me in the heart instead of these tiny cuts for the last year? You know,
Oof.
that's
Mhm.
what it feels like. But I'm whatever. It'll be fine. So yeah, that will
When are you
also
doing
be
that?
in April. That will
Okay.
be released as an album. So I think at the moment it'll be like mostly like say 45 minutes of stuff that wasn't on Corset. Hopefully I'll drum up some more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to resurrect one of my old classic dick jokes, but I just can't
Oh,
I
that
can't put my heart
energy.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it was definitely single childless gal energy, and I can't do it now. I know better. Like the innocence has been taken from me, and there's some jokes of mine I can't do anymore.
That's very funny. Yeah, Phil Griffiths is featuring for me.
I know Phil. He's
You know
very
Phil.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
his
yeah. He has a
daughter's a swimmer,
okay.
and yeah, and lives in. He's booked me on little shows in Half Moon Bay, where my parents, the guy, Abbas, he and my dad worked together in Tehran, and
What does
Abbas lives.
Abbas own the club or something, or
No. He
oh
came to one of my shows, but he's in his 80s, and so he just
okay,
came in the set. But he's the neatest person. Just like
cool.
has a great sense of
Yeah,
humor,
yeah.
and I've known him since before I was born. I knew him,
Right. You knew him.
and so he's an artist now. He has his own studio in Half Moon Bay, but he's probably 82, 83 years old now. But he's just
Oh,
super
cool.
bubbly, or maybe older. I don't know. My dad was a little older than him, and my dad would be super old if he was in his 90s now, if he was still alive. So
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. He closed on the stick joke that has a pretty smart reference. It's always, I like a dick joke that goes in a weird, just like pulls like some either pop culture reference that's attainable enough for everybody, or like mine has a math joke in the middle of it, and his has some sort of, his has a science joke in the middle of it that was that, and it was it a dick joke or was it a fart joke? I mean, it might literally have been like a bodily function joke that had the science twist to it that I'm enjoying, is what I'm saying.
It's an offset. It allows you to enjoy your descent into body fluids on stage.
Right, because
Right.
you don't want to spend too much time wandering around a body fluid of body fluid topics.
No, you're gonna get wet. Sorry.
But it had to be done. And yeah, so all the shows, second show last night, you ever get that thing where it's not the audience's fault, except for that the timing of the audience and your timing don't exactly line up.
Right.
And so it's a little messier than you want it to be.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
had second show last night. First show, smooth sailing.
Yeah.
So, and plus, yep.
Are you recording on VT for no?
Sadly, I should be recording because I am literally trying to work out a bunch of new stuff about my mother-in-law and these giant topics that are just okay. You know, that need punchlines.
TikTok.
Oh, the tickety talk. Here's what I have been doing lately is so I have I sent the hour that I gave to Blonde Medicine. I also have video of from Comedy on Stage. So I gave that to someone to clip out for me. He clipped out a bunch of stuff. He keeps picking the new stuff. Do you know why he picks the new stuff? Because it's exciting, right? Because you can tell in my voice that I'm excited to talk about it. So it makes for a better clip. But I'm like, I actually don't want to show people this clip, but it's on Sirius XM now. Like some of the half-assed new bits that have punchlines, but just think of a year from now, it's going to have really, really good punchlines, and it's going to be a lot tighter. So I don't know what I'm going to do going forward.
Rename the joke.
Yep.
And
rename the album and
sure.
And so yeah. So I've been putting some of that stuff on TikTok. And the other thing I'm going to do in TikTok and Reels is I've been chopping up the old Conan sets into 40-second chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that too.
Because you know what? Turns out their film quality is excellent. And
sure.
So yeah, the DiGiorno joke has been doing pretty good on Instagram, but the Native American frozen food thing from 2015.
Oh boy.
Right. It's going to be a little controversial now, right?
Yeah.
And it also, since 2015, there's at least 13 Native American restaurants that have opened. Because people send me articles about them all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you'll be happy to know this food truck. You'll be happy to know that this fine restaurant. You'll be happy to know this casino has a fry bread stand. And I was like, it is really awesome. But, I feel like Nostradamus in this thing because now and they're like, well, you know that there's, and I'm like, yes, I do know.
The joke worked when it was told, and that's all you can vouch for. Okay. I can't write a joke that's going to work in the future. I can't see that far. Okay. I write jokes. If they work now, I'm happy. Okay. I can't figure out what's happening in the future and try to write to that as well.
Right. I mean, the fact that I'm a truth teller and a soothsayer and a prophet, it's so I have. Yeah.
Oh no, I had so many jokes about my Russian boyfriend and about me, having the power of being able to call the INS if he didn't do what I wanted him to. Okay. And which I felt fine about because the Russians are a super protected community in New York, and it's not, that actually wouldn't have happened. Right. But also it looks terrible now, even if you take into account that, they're Russian. It's still like, you're a monster. Well, yeah, because at the time there wasn't ICE. It wasn't really like that,
Right. It wasn't as bad as it is now. And but I will say that what continues to get a laugh is the term Sacagaweedies. So Sacagaweenies will always get a laugh.
Jackie, it's your bananas.
Right. Weirdly enough, Mike Lawrence, that's his tag.
Sacagaweenies.
Yeah, he came up with Sacagaweenies.
Where is Mike Lawrence? Haven't seen him in so long. Is he writing for somebody, or is he just did he move
Either
to
he's-
New York?
I don't know, but he's genius writing for
Oh, yeah.
himself or someone else right now. That guy,
Hope so.
he's great. I genuinely love that guy.
Yeah,
that guy.
he's great. Yeah,
And I barely know him. I barely know Mike
he
Lawrence,
has
but
a
I'm like, I
very-
am on board, my friend.
he's like has an approachable slobness that I really. I'm like, oh, this guy's someone that you could just sit down with, you know?
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
him mixed up with another guy, and it's not. It's
Wait,
that
let me
guy
type a name.
because you might know who that is.
Wait, hold on. I'm typing the name. Wait, I
Type
typed all
This
sevens.
is exciting.
I typed all. It's 7. It's the little known comedian 777.
Fuck, what's wrong with my hands? Do you mix those two up?
Yep,
Yeah,
Wow.
I knew it.
and
Yes.
that guy.
And
is-
both of them, where are they?
Right, right.
They're both really funny, and I haven't seen either of them.
Right, but very, very different. And and Mike Lawrence, my favorite. And so
I can't pick, and I won't. But
you don't have
but
to, and you don't
yeah.
have to.
The one
Because,
where his album cover is him as Wolverine, you say.
And so the yeah, I just oh, that was the other thing. You ever do a joke and then you're trying to I came up with a new lie. That's the other reason I should have recorded, and I've been thinking about this for 3 shows and I still haven't done it because once I record it, I feel obligated to listen to it.
Oh,
I do a joke about how billionaires don't come to comedy clubs. And I don't know where that joke comes from. Like, I don't know where that premise, what leads to that. I cannot remember. You were there. You've seen it a couple
I
times, but
was?
there's absolutely no reason. No, you might have heard it before, but
now how
I'm
to
saying-
get into it now? I mean, you're in
Yeah.
the Silicon Valley, so I wonder you actually might have had some billionaires in your audience that you don't know about.
I don't, because here's the thing: is I've been doing that joke for about 6 months. I can't remember the premise, the bit that comes before it. That's my problem, and I wish I could.
Oh.
But I came up with a line. I think it was Friday, where I was like, "Billionaires don't come to see stand-up comedy," and the audience, because I'm in the Silicon Valley, tightened up on me. And I said to them, "This is not to belittle your millions, but you are not billionaires." And then I did the joke, and I wish I could remember where it came from, and I could, because I bet you I did it in that in that the new album set.
Jackie, are you also cleaning your hotel room right now? What is happening? I've never.
I-
You're rocking back and forth.
I'm trying to think, and so what I'm doing is I'm bouncing this tiny piece of paper.
Oh,
I've lost
okay.
my mind. Is what you're not wrong. I also have some sort of scratchy throat syndrome. I'm sure it's very. I have that vocal
think it's
fry that
called COVID.
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
What?
better not have COVID. I have to go make a nickel in Traverse City this next week, so I'm really
Yeah.
hoping I don't have COVID.
Can't afford COVID. Same here. Same here.
Where are you off to this week?
Oh, let's start
'Cause-
promoting. Well, I'm in Bloomington at the Comedy Attic this week in Indiana.
Oh,
And that's as close as I'm going to get to Indianapolis. So if that's where you live,
Yeah.
you're going to have to make the drive. I'm
make
sorry.
it's only an hour 15. Are you kidding
No,
me?
and you can talk about me on the way back, so you only have to come up with conversation on the way out there, and you can listen to our podcast.
Right, Indianapolis. Because did you hear Crackers reopened?
No,
Did you
I
know
didn't,
that
did
it's
they?
still called Crackers? Yes.
I don't. Who knows why comedy club names exist? I mean,
Ah,
Rooster Teeth Feathers is another mystery as well, right? So they're
cock-a-doodle-doo.
inherited names from whatever. But Crackers, I've always heard my entire life was a great room. And I just never broke in there. So, and I don't know if all I knew was run by people called Chick and Patty, and I'm like, what are those names? Who's Chick?
It's Ruth Ann. It's Ruth Ann. Ruth Ann is the
That's
owner of
another name
Crackers.
I've heard.
And I worked Crackers for years, and then I didn't work. I mean, here's how I got booked at Crackers. I was doing the attic, and so I went and did Bob and Tom.
Right.
And Ruth Ann's dad was there. He had brought the comic for Crackers in to be
Oh.
on Bob and Tom as well. And after my segment, he said, "You're really funny. Ruth Ann should book you." And I said, I have emailed an introduction with links, and I've tried. And he said he wrote out a snail mail address.
Oh.
He said, write her a letter. I said, through the U.S. Postal Service? And this is a dozen years ago. And so I did. And then she emailed me.
Interesting. All right.
It's one of those things where, you know how we want to work things, and then you find out that you were wrong.
Yeah, but I want to find out I was wrong on my own. I don't want to
exactly.
Trust you.
There's a club that I typed right there. That's one of them that I wanted to work, and now I'm like, I would be wrong. I would be wrong to do that. So,
Mike, have you worked it?
Yep, twice. One time with Maria, one time by myself, and it's bad. It's the strip club right next to it burned down, and it was.
Well, are you a suspect?
I am not. I'm not a firebug. I think we know that. Jackie Cation, not a firebug. So I want to do. So when I was in New York, I saw so many people's just references to, not that anyone did, that I got to see them. I haven't gotten to see anybody's solo show because solo shows are back. But now I've decided that I want to do. I have like 3 ideas for projects. And no, I don't know if I have enough hours in the day, but I want to write a 1-woman show called Altercation, about the different times that I've either punched somebody or pushed them or threw a drink at them, or, just sort of like, and how anger management,
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love the idea. I love that idea. And that reminds me of your joke you did on Monday about this. Did anyone flinch? A look at physical abuse, receiving and doling out from a woman is really interesting. And you're not a mother. It's not like you abused a kid.
Right.
Now we're talking about my show. But no, I think that's a great idea.
Right. And then I was also, because this started playing day before yesterday, the hour, there's part of me that wants to just do an hour of all of my dad jokes from the last 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And then put out that album.
I love it. That's a great idea.
And that also sounds like an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
But sure. And then I also want to lie down. That's it's because I've got these I got the big premises. My Lenza AI bit is working pretty good.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Oh, yeah, let's take another break real quick. Yeah. So I can't wait to go back to the Comedy Attic, by the way. I like that room. And
yeah, I'm excited.
And it's always fun to hang out with Jared.
Jared is intense, and I like the intense comedy conversation.
It is the best.
Yes.
Yes.
Like every conversation with him does feel like a podcast.
It does.
Yeah.
Are you working Valentine's Day?
No, I am not a romantic female comedian anymore. I was, but not anymore. Not anymore.
I am doing here's Swami predicts. I predict a week before Valentine's Day. It's when a lot of clubs remember that Valentine's Day they should book a woman comic.
Right.
And you might pick up a gig. I'm doing something in a town in Colorado called Silverthorne.
Oh, neat.
Silverthorne, Colorado. So I'm flying in 2 days early. I'm flying in on the 14th. I guess then we're driving. I'm gonna do. They added a show because remember, Colorado, where I'm famous. Uh, so we're going to do 2 shows that night. And then 2 shows, I think it is 1 or 2 shows. Maybe I'm wrong. But then the next day is a dark night. I'm just going to go get into the condo a day early. And then that's the Wednesday. And then Thursday through Saturday, I'm doing the Comedy Works South.
Nice.
And supposedly the next gig after that, I think, is this weird gig outside of Minneapolis, 3 hours outside of Minneapolis, called Hutchinson. Hutchinson, Minnesota. It pays really good, and they wanted to add another show early and they added money to that. Like, one show is paying me that, and the other show they're gonna add that.
Nice.
So that enormously respectable. I sent so he my AP agent TJ emailed me with that second offer, and I wrote him back and I said, one of the things I've learned from him in the last 5 or 7 years that I've been working with him is how to ask for more money. How to realize that other people get the money that I get, and they get a lot more money.
Yeah.
And I can just ask for normal money and not lowball myself like a crazy person because I love stand-up so much. Because I deserve a fair
Why?
wage.
Because he's asking for more money?
Right, because he's always been his low money, because I have to pay him, right? I think because I got to give him 10%. But it starts at a higher number that I had previously started at. So that's the good.
Well, I'm apparently at that number.
The lower
which
number.
Is why he won't work with me.
Oh God, 17 years. Every time he moved, I asked him if he would rep me, and every single time he said no. Until finally, I started opening for Maria, and he, out of the blue, he goes, "Do you need a PA agent?" And I was like, "I actually don't. At this time, I have 42 weeks a year that I'm booked." And he's like, "Well, I could get you into new clubs." And I was like, "Well, we could try." And that was like 6, 7 years ago. And now he talks about retiring, and I'm like, "No, please don't retire. Don't retire until you figure out how Joanna can become the perfect vision," because he's turning all of his things over to this woman who used to be assistant, but now she's an agent, Joanna. And she's great. I love her dearly, but I have to say, I worry because the guys that own a lot of the chains that neither of us work are just, they like bros.
They just keep collecting comedy clubs too. They keep collecting clubs that I used to work, and they won't book me in them. Yeah, and but any male comic with no credits will get a headlining week. It's unbelievable.
I
Right,
can
they
think
just
of
like
one
that.
they regularly won't.
He might be wearing a blue and green
I'm
beanie.
pretty sure they think I'm a female comic at this point.
Oh my God, let's talk about the word female and how I feel like I'm being discussed like a vet.
Let me finish plugging.
Oh, please.
Please.
Okay. Yeah.
You're fucking telling me how much you're making. Every K that you're adding is a punch in the stomach to every number. I'm at the Hereafter on March 10th in Seattle.
Which is Crocodile, I found out today.
Oh, it's the same room? They changed the name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm doing
room.
that. That's just a Friday. Come out to that.
One night.
I'm at Indianapolis this weekend. So if you're anywhere near, I'm in Bloomington. Come on out for that one. I'm at Rooster Teeth Feathers, where Jackie is right now, March 2nd through 5th. I'm in Oshkosh in May. The tickets are on my my website, and I'm at the Laughing Tap in May. So plan for that, Wisconsin, please.
Right, please, Wisconsin, get out, check it out. The only thing I'm doing after I do that, the Comedy Works weekend, I'm doing Vermont.
Oh, nice.
I'm finally going to Vermont at the end of February. Nobody's smarter. Nobody books things better.
Do you ski? Even on the lowest level?
I don't strap it. No, I don't accelerate.
Jackie,
no, this doesn't. Yeah.
Jackie, when I went there a little over a year ago, I did New Year's Eve there. and I brought
Okay.
my son, and we rented a car and went to Sugar Bush, which is a ski resort. They have a really low little ski area that children go in. It's so fun. I recommend
Okay.
it. I recommend
Okay.
it.
I like ice skating, and I'm not good at it, but I started ice skating off and on, mostly off, but I've ice skated like several times in the last several years. Do you know that I wake up now? I have to go see a doctor. This is as we go into our twilight years,
Mhm,
Kilmartin. This is going to be about our medical shit.
mhm.
But I wake up and I can't close my fists.
Oh,
That's not good, right? I have to
well, also
literally.
it's not good that you're trying to make a fist as soon as you wake up. But
Well, no,
it's
I
favorite
can't
for the
bend my,
one woman show, Jackie.
I can't bend my fingers, and so I
Wow.
have to actually like use the second hand to bend my fingers, and then I work them, and then I work them, and I work them, and I work them, and then I can use my hands like a person. But
That's interesting. I wonder what that is, because
I
then
don't
they
know.
do warm up and they're okay for the rest of the day.
They stiffen up pretty quick, but I'm constantly working them just to
I
try
wonder if you're
to.
sleeping on them or something and making them numb.
I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it is, I don't like it.
No.
So yeah, I'm again it. Yep. So
Oh, oh, so you know, we did that gig, that pancakes gig, together. So I parked wherever I parked, I was leaving and my car door hit something like a stationary object holding some cable,
ooh,
and it kind of peeled the door. So
ouch.
it looks bad, and at first I was like, oh, I'll just leave it. It's a 2009 Toyota. Why should I invest in it? But I'm this is like shit. It's embarrassing. So and I didn't want to, trigger any increase in my car insurance. But
Right.
so
I have a good body shop guy.
well, I decided, I'll pay the deductible, which is 500, and because it just looks too bad. It's embarrassing. And
I
when you're
got.
a headliner of my status, your car door shouldn't be peeling open.
I
So,
have to tell you, I have a body shop guy that is very cheap and only takes cash.
well, okay, send me this Armenian's name,
He's
and
Thai,
oh,
but you're not wrong. He is an immigrant.
but so I they are months behind body shops. It's crazy. Like I
Mhm.
was in there. There's Teslas that have been in there since like November and December, because
Okay.
this woman's getting yelled at by a Tesla owner, and they can't take my car until March, and then I'm like, Jesus, it's like a
Wow.
supply chain thing and all this other stuff. But I've been noticing there's so many cars with dents driving around LA, and I'm wondering if part of it is that it takes a couple months to actually get your car in there to get it fixed.
Right. And I don't think that it's I don't think that it's cash actually. I think that they're normal.
Okay.
But they're incredibly reasonably priced. And
Send me his info.
yeah.
I just figured
And
I'd have my insurance do it, but if I don't have to, if it's,
right, if it's gonna be $500 in any case,
yeah, right.
then you don't have to go to the through the insurance.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Thank you.
I think
anyway,
I
I've
see it
used
right
these
there.
people before and they were great.
Oh, really?
Carmen
Reading the
Morales.
page, yes.
Yeah, Carmen Morales has used them several times as well.
Several.
So I
What's
know.
happening over there?
That's what I said. It was before she got her new car. I think she
She
was a
runs
little
down
more
a lot of bookers.
careless. It's like, get him with the door. And, so I think we're pretty close to an hour here, man.
Right?
We are. We have.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna go work on my set list and try to come up. And you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. What do I
Right.
want out of tonight's show? I want to have a good time, but I also want to record it so that if I go into that billionaire bit, I'll know where the hell it's coming from.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a set tonight?
I do. I'm doing the 5 p.m. show, and
right.
I got a couple new tags to try and a couple little new avenues off of something that's a solo joke that I hope would become something bigger.
Yeah.
And Jackie, I feel like this podcast started out a little like we were both like in a mood, and it ended better than I thought it was going to.
I know, I was really in a mood. And so here we are, 60 minutes later, talked about comedy, fixes everything.